Good morning to all of you. Let us discuss the same chapter migration types, causes, and consequences. We have discussed the topics like migration, streams of migration, spatial variation in migration. Today we will discuss the causes of migration. But before discussing the causes of migration, let me tell you something about the migration, streams of migration and spatial variation in migration. That what is migration? I have discussed in two of my videos that the migration is the movement of the people from one place to another, either permanently, seasonal or temporarily. And we have also seen the streams of migration like urban to urban, urban to rural, rural to rural, rural to urban, and then internal migration, external migration, or out migration, in migration, immigration, all these topics we have discussed about. And then, do you remember that I have also discussed with you lifetime migrant, migrant by place of residence? Who is a lifetime migrant? Do you remember? If a person's place of birth is different from the place of census enumeration, then he or she is known as lifetime migrant. And then migrant by place of last residence, do you remember? Yes. If a person's place of last residence is different from the place of enumeration. So these are the two components of, or these are the two types of migrants on the basis of enumeration of census. So you should keep all these things in mind. And spatial variation, remember what we have discussed in the last video, spatial variation in migration, that in India there is an uneven spatial variation in migration in terms of in-migration and out-migration. States receiving high number of in-migrants. Which state? Maharashtra is the largest migrants receiving state. Besides this, Delhi, Gujarat, Haryana and other urbanized areas attract large number of migrants. Then states with high out migrants, I have discussed with you in my previous video that UP and some other states or the poor states, Jharkhand or Bihar, all these are what? These states have the largest number of net out or the out migrants. Then urban agglomeration, remember what was that? Urban agglomerations are largely expanding because of high intra-state immigration. Intra-state, I have discussed with you, intra-state and interstate, intra-state within the state and interstate between two states. Urban agglomeration, remember what was that? What did I discuss with you? Urban agglomeration is, you remember, urban agglomeration is just like the extended cities or outgrowths of the towns, or it grow and develop where? On the suburbs or on the outskirts of any city. That should have 20,000 of population and should have the municipal corporation. Now let us discuss today something about the causes of migration. What are the different causes of migration? Okay, one thing is here that there are a number of causes due to which that the migration takes place, right? One, it may be political, maybe economic, it may be social causes, but there are certain concrete causes due to which that the migration takes place. People are attracted by better employment, better living conditions and other comforts available in cities or other countries. Such attractions constitute the pull factors in migration. isn't it? And then on the other hand, poverty, hunger, unemployment, which draw the migrants to seek new destination, constitute the push factors in a migration. So people are compelled or pushed to leave or go in the direction of the pull factor. Push factors make people leave their original place of living, while the pull factors attract them to new destination. Okay, so what about this pull and push factors? That the push factors, again telling you that the push factors, these are the factors which urges people to push factors to leave their place of residence or birth, place of residence. Got it? These are the factors which urges people to leave their place of residence where the people are living. There are certain conditions, there are certain situations, there are certain factors on the basis of which that the people leave, or those situations and those factors compel the people to leave. Some of them are like, as I just now told you, some of them are natural disaster like flood, drought, cyclones, and political uh, instability, or local conflicts like war, riots, poverty, then lack of employment opportunities, then high population pressure on land, lack of, sometimes it's lack of infrastructural facilities like health care, education. Okay, and another one is your the pull factors. What about the pull factors? The pull factors like refers to, and these factors which attract the people from different places. Some of them are better opportunities for education, better health facilities, and then sources of entertainment, and there are certain other factors which attract the people like employment. This is the most important one, and employment opportunities. Well, there are these two factors, in fact the push and pull factors. These two factors are responsible for causing the migration from one place to another. Now the question rises here that what are the different causes for the male and female migration? Or you may get the question like examine the reasons for migration for males and females, right? You can tell, or the answer comes in your mind, or like this, that male, especially male migration takes place for work, for employment, and female migration for marriage, basically for marriage. But the thing is here that there are certain percentage, right, certain percentage which I'll tell you, on the basis of which that the, or not on the basis, but that this percentage of the male migrants are responsible for moving their place of birth for work, and the women for, or the females for marriage. In fact, the rate of male migration, that is about 38%, is more than female, that is only 3%. Male migration is for work and female for the same reason. Have you understood? 3% of female migrate for the work. I mean, they leave their place of birth. Okay? They leave their place of birth for the work, right? For employment. Whereas 38% of the male members, they leave for the work or for the employment. Now another point to be which is very important, that about 65% of women migrate because of marriage, whereas only 2% men migrate for the same reason. Now there is one question in your book, that why is female marriage migration law in Meghalaya different? Do you know? Why is it so? What is the reason behind it? That the female marriage migration law in Meghalaya is different from other states or from other places? Here what happens that the migration of males is higher in Meghalaya because of some social reason, social causes. Now women don't dominate men, but men have the power, but it is inherited from women. In Meghalaya, men move into women's house when they get married. Okay, but what is in fact the marriage law? What happens here that they have in fact matrilineal society, okay, based on what? Women line. So it means that after marriage, women do not go to the men's places. Remember, this is a very interesting topic that the women do not go to the men's place where men come to the women's place, which you cannot see, right? In common or in general, you cannot see this thing. Usually what happens that after getting married, that the women move to men's place. As the men have a long history to be gone away from family, the inheritance is passed from a mother to her daughter and hence led to the matrilineal form of society system in Meghalaya. Okay, what happens? Let me tell you that after getting married, that the women do not move to men's place, whereas what happens that it's the men who move to women's place. Why is it so? And the reason behind it is that men have a long history to be gone away from the family for long period of time. They live outside their home, or they leave their family maybe due to work, or sometimes that the what happens that the tribals are the warriors, and for wars or for some work that they gone away, or they in fact they leave their home, they leave their family for long period of time. So in this case what happens that the inheritance is passed from mother to her daughter, and hence this is the reason that it leads to the matrilineal, the formation of matrilineal society system. Okay, isn't it? This is very important one. Sorry, it's very interesting one. So we have discussed about the push and pull factors, I mean the causes. The most important topic which I have today taken was the causes of migration. Right? The causes of migration we have seen here, that the push and pull factors. Let me tell you once again what about the push and pull factors. That the push and pull factors, here you can see that the natural disasters, political or local instability, sometimes the political or local instability, and then you can see that the poverty, lack of employment, high population pressure, or basic infrastructure, lack of basic infrastructure facilities. Okay, political instability, what happens here in political instability? Political instability, what happens here that if there is a change in the government, okay, or some kind of political unrest takes place, so it directly disturbs the market activities, right, and it decreases the economic growth. So it has an adverse effect on the productivity. So what happens that the people sometimes leave their place of birth, or sometimes that they leave their state, or where they were earning, so they go for work or employment to some other states or some other places. And the push factors I have discussed with you for the better opportunities for education, for healthcare, for infrastructures, or for employment opportunities. So we have seen here today or we have discussed here that the push and pull factors, the causes, and there is a difference between there is a different reasons in fact for migration for males and females, right? So that's all for today. I'll send you another assignment which I think you must be doing it in your notebooks, so you will continue doing those assignments. Okay,